Will the jury please stand and raise your right hand? Do each of you swear that you will fairly try the case before this court and that you will return a true verdict according to the evidence and the instructions of the court, so help you God? Please say I do.
I do.
Is the prosecution ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution may begin with its opening remarks.
Before I begin, I just want to say thank you all for coming out. My name is Alexis Moore. I'll be the lead prosecutor, and these are my colleagues, Preston and Colt Ehart. We're here today. You all are here today to hear both sides of the story of the killing of Trayvon Martin. You are here from the defense that Zimmerman killed Trayvon out of self-defense, but we are here to prove to you that Zimmerman is guilty of manslaughter. Trayvon was on the phone with his girlfriend on his way back from the 7-Eleven store when he realized somebody was following him. On February 26th, Zimmerman was working as the town's watchman, which was the same night of Trayvon's death. Zimmerman saw Trayvon and called the police. He stated that Trayvon was acting suspicious and that he was following him. The police told Zimmerman to quit following Trayvon, but Zimmerman disobeyed their orders. Zimmerman was carrying a handgun in his waist belt when he approached Trayvon. You will also hear from the opposing side that Trayvon approached and almost beat Zimmerman to death, which is not true. The defense will also try to convince you that while Trayvon was beating Zimmerman, Zimmerman pulled his gun out of his holster and shot Trayvon Martin in the chest. Our witness, Mary Kutcher, will share with us what she heard and saw during the moments of Trayvon Martin's death. Thank you, Your Honor and Terri. That's all.
Does the defense have any opening remarks?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and thank you for being here today. My name is Zimmerman, and I am assistant attorney to this case. My colleagues and I, Terri, Wilson, and Brian Shackelford, are going to defend George Zimmerman in this case. Today you will find no crucial evidence that Mr. Zimmerman is guilty. Though he did shoot Trayvon Martin, it was only in self-defense. On the night of February 26, 2012, George Zimmerman was on duty for the neighborhood watch. He was in his truck, which was parked near the front entrance of the gated community of Twin Lakes Retreat in Sanford, Florida. While he was parked, he noticed a suspicious person walking past his truck. George then called the police to notify them of the suspicious person. The police told Zimmerman to stay in his vehicle and not to follow them. Mr. Zimmerman chose to follow the suspicious person, Trayvon Martin. He then tried asking Trayvon what he was doing there and why he was there. Trayvon then attacked Mr. Zimmerman. My client took a few blows to the head and he called out for help, but nobody came. He then pulled out his gun out of his holster and shot Trayvon Martin in the chest. The reason this was self-defense is because of the stand your ground law. The stand your ground law gives a person the right to use deadly force to defend themselves without any requirement to evade or retreat from a dangerous situation. The only reason Trayvon was killed was because Mr. Zimmerman was being attacked. My client should be found not guilty during this trial.
Prosecution, you may call your first witness.
The prosecution would like to call Miss Mary Kutcher to the stand, please.
Raise your right hand and place your left hand here. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Hello, ma'am. For the record, could you please state your full name into the first and last name into the microphone, please?
Mary Kutcher.
Okay, Miss Kutcher, where were you on the night of February 26, 2012?
I was at my house.
Were you alone in the house, or did you have company with you?
No, my roommate was there.
And what were you and your roommate doing at the time?
We were at the current moment making us something to drink when we heard yelling.
Could you describe what you heard in further detail?
We heard this little boy, teenage voice, screaming, "Help me."
And after you heard the sound, someone yelling, "Help me," sounded like it came from a young teen, as you said. What did you do after that?
We went and we just kind of looked outside.
And when you went and looked outside your window, what did you see?
We saw Zimmerman on top of Trayvon, straddling Trayvon's body.
And did you go outside to see what the altercation was?
Yes, at one point we did go outside to see what the altercation was.
Did you ask Zimmerman why he was on top of Trayvon?
No, but we did ask if he needed help, and what was going on.
And while you were out there, did Zimmerman have any wounds or?
Not that we saw.
Okay. Could you describe in further detail than what you already have what you saw once the police officers arrived?
We saw Trayvon there, and Zimmerman was speaking to the police, and the police tried to revive Trayvon, but they could not revive him.
Thank you, ma'am. And Your Honor, no further questions.
Does the defense have anything for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to submit some evidence. Okay. So, may I approach you on this?
Yes.
Where exactly do you live?
In one of those apartments.
Yeah, but which one?
This is a picture taken from far view. It's
Okay. Well, do you live on the first or second floor of your apartment?
first.
First? Okay. Was it dark that night?
Yes, it was very dark.
So you can't honestly say you've seen Zimmerman perfectly correct?
Correct, but I could, however, tell it was Zimmerman on Trayvon because Zimmerman is a big, about 250-pound man.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Because at the time of the accident, he only weighed 170. So, and he was what was it? 5 what? 5'7". How tall was him? Martin? He was roughly 6 foot. And you said you didn't have any injuries, correct?
Not from what I saw, it was very dark.
May I show you something? This was a picture of the side of his head. This was a picture of his face, swollen up. Here's him right after the accident. This is broken nose. Back of his head. And here's his knuckles. The reason I'm showing you his knuckles is because they're not bruised or anything. So he could not start his altercation. So you said you heard screaming.
Yes.
Have you ever heard a 17-year-old scream?
Yes.
Have you ever heard a 40-year-old scream? They're not too much different, are they? Especially behind closed doors.
Well, they are, in my opinion, quite different. You can tell an older man scream from what sounds like a child scream.
Can you honestly say you could tell the difference between closed doors and how far away were they from your apartment?
Right in my backyard.
Right in your backyard? But in feet, how many feet would you say?
I can't really say.
Okay. So you're saying that you could hear them and all that, hear him yelling, but your doors were closed and you were roughly, we don't know how many feet away. And it's been dark. So you really didn't hear anything or see anything due to darkness and just not looking, correct? So all you have to go by is hearing a yell from, it may or may not have been Martin or Zimmerman, correct? Okay. No further questions?
Prosecution, would you like to question the witness any further, or do you rest?
Yes, we would like. So, Ms. Kutcher, as the defense has stated, it was dark outside, correct?
Yes.
But as they forgot to mention, in condos, as the one you live in, they have street lights and house lamps and everything that could light up some to where you could make out the figure and even some detail on the person who was on top of Trayvon, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. No further questions.
Thank you, Ms. Kutcher. Is the defense ready with its case?
Yes, Your Honor, the defense would like to call for Zimmerman.
Raise your right hand and place your left hand here. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Please state your name.
Zimmerman,
Now, how old would you say you were when you shot Trayvon Martin?
about 31.
Why were you a volunteer for being a neighborhood watch?
These are the burglaries in my neighborhood.
Were you on duty the night of February 26, 2012? What were you doing when you saw Trayvon around those houses?
In my car.
Did you know Trayvon personally?
No.
What made him look suspicious?
He had his head up.
Anything else?
He was walking down the street. I don't know.
What did you think he was up to?
I don't know.
Were you on the phone?
Please.
And what did you say?
No, there's a suspicious man walking down the street.
Did you tell them that you were following him? Did they ask you?
I was going to. They told me not to.
Why did you continue to follow them even though the police told you not to?
He could hurt someone.
Did Trayvon know you were following him?
Yes.
What happened after he realized you were following him?
He turned around and attacked me.
Who confronted who? Did you say anything to him?
I asked him what he was doing.
And what did he do?
He just turned around and hit me.
Why?
I don't know. Didn't have to ask him.
What type of injuries did you have?
Broken nose. And I was bloody all over.
Did Trayvon know you had a gun?
No.
Did he see it after you guys were fighting? Or
No.
he was fighting?
Whenever I
you?
pulled it out, yeah.
What was your reaction to him holding you on the ground, beating you up?
Get my gun and shoot him.
Did you fight back?
No.
Did you yell for help? Were you scared of what you had just done?
Yeah.
At what point did you decide to shoot your gun?
Whenever he was beating me.
Why did you feel that was the best option?
I didn't even die. He said he was beating me. Somebody else would beat me.
Do you feel there was any other option?
No.
I have no further questions.
Does the prosecution have anything for the witness?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. Before I begin, I'd like to insert this as evidence. This is the bag of Skittles that Trayvon was holding at the time of the shooting.
Thank you.
So, could you tell me how old you are right now, Mr. Zimmerman?
33.
33. And the shooting happened 2 years ago, so since you're 33, you would be 31, as you said. But in the police report, it states that you were 28 at the time of the shooting. Could you please tell me where the mishap happened?
You know, I shot someone. My brain's kind of out of whack right now. I don't really remember.
Well, if you shot Trayvon Martin 2 years ago, wouldn't you still be able to recall your age?
Suppose so. Yes.
Okay. And did you or did you not disobey a direct order from a Sanford police officer when he told you to stay in your vehicle that night? You did?
Disobeyed.
Alright. And as you were leaving your vehicle and you grabbed your pistol to get ready and follow Trayvon, did you state that these freaking punks, these buttholes, always get away? And given it's not buttholes or freaking, you know how to fill in the blanks. Did you or did you not state that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, thankfully for us, the Sanford Police Department does. Okay, and did you recollect that the neighborhood watch for those condos states that the neighborhood watchman is not allowed to carry a concealed weapon when on duty? You still carried the pistol with you even though you knew not to. Could you please tell me why you would grab the pistol in the first place?
Wouldn't you?
No? Okay. How long did you approximately follow Mr. Martin?
Couple minutes.
A couple minutes? Okay. And the police report states that you got into a conflict and then shot Mr. Martin in self-defense. Could you please depict where you shot him at?
In front of the condo. In the street.
Let me be more specific. Where on Trayvon did you shoot him?
Oh, on the chest.
In the chest, okay. And just to clarify, what is your reasoning for following Mr. Martin?
He was suspicious.
How was he suspicious though?
It was nighttime, he had his hood on.
So, if I, a 15-year-old male, were to walk at night wearing a hoodie with my hood up, hands in my pockets, you would follow me with a pistol attempting to shoot me?
If he looks suspicious,
Possibly.
yeah. He tagged me.
How? What would make you think that he was suspicious?
As I told you, he had his hood on. It was dark. He was walking in the street.
And how did you think he was going to? How did he attack you? Did you
He punched me.
punch you? Anything else he did specifically?
And jumped on top of me and started beating me.
Beating you how?
Punching me.
What did he use to beat you?
His fist.
Well, in the police report, it states that you said that he grabbed you with both hands by your ears and hair and smashed your head into the concrete sidewalk. But with the picture, which is already in evidence by the defense, may I approach the desk? In the picture, if someone were to take your head and slam it into a sidewalk, it wouldn't leave scratches on different parts of your head. It would be in one general area, not all around your head, as shown in the picture. Could you explain how the scratches were so spread apart?
Well, maybe when he was punching me and slamming me, my head hit this side, and like that, and then different sides,
And could you recollect whether or not you were on top of Trayvon in the end, or was Trayvon on top of you when you shot him?
Whenever I shot him, I got on top of him.
And could you please explain why the prosecution's witness, Mary Kutcher, stated that whenever she came out and saw you on top of Trayvon, you had no cuts or scrapes?
Object, that's hearsay.
Sustained.
And could you please explain to me why, and not hearsay, because it is on police records, why you called the police multiple times that night before the shooting? No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything further from the defense, or do you rest?
Yeah, we have a couple of things. Oh, yes, Your Honor. May I approach you, Mr. Young? Thank you. Would you say this is well lit? No? Would y'all say this is well lit? You know, enough to easily tell him? No? Okay. Here's the weapon he was using. And according, tell me if I'm correct, you had this on your left hip? Okay. So when you pulled it, you pulled with your right, correct? And you shot him in the chest. So when you got up, you had to touch him on top of it to get up. So I would explain why you were on top of Martin when they seen it. Thank you. I think that is all. Thank you.
You may be seated. Are both sides ready for final argument?
Yes, Your Honor.
Prosecution.
Good morning, jury members. I want to say thank you for coming out. And before I get beginning with this closing statement, I would like you to think if Trayvon Martin was your son walking to a 7-Eleven gas station to buy a bag of Skittles and some Arizona watermelon drink. I just want you to think about that. And if it was self-defense, why would Zimmerman, first of all, tell the cops he was not going to stay and wait for him where the cops had told him to? And first of all, well, lastly anyway, Zimmerman was actually about 200 plus pounds and Trayvon Martin was about 150 pounds. And how could Trayvon Martin beat a 200-pound man? Like, you can tell the size difference. And before you come up with your final announcement, I would like you to think in God's name about how you would see yourself in this situation if you were Trayvon Martin's family or parents. Thank you.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we stood before you today with evidence that my client, George Zimmerman, shot Trayvon Martin in self-defense. We proved to you that Zimmerman did not hit Trayvon, he did not fight back, he was beat in the head, had a broken nose. Zimmerman shot him in self-defense, ladies and gentlemen. If he didn't shoot, there would have been a different tune, and Zimmerman's face would have been on it. We proved that Trayvon looked suspicious. As a neighborhood watchman, Zimmerman's job is to look out for those kind of people, especially when there had been a lot of break-ins in the town. Zimmerman was simply doing his job, and today we have showed you evidence that this was Zimmerman being committed to his job, but it took a wrong turn. This ended up with him on the ground screaming for help and having no other option but to shoot in his own defense. We hope you have come to the conclusion that our client is indeed innocent. Thank you.
Prosecution, do you have anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Let me remind the jury that it is your responsibility to base your decision solely on the facts and what you have heard today. You may now enter into deliberation. The court is in recess. Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, Your Honor, we find the defendant guilty.
The jury has found the defendant guilty. Thank you for your time today. This is concluded our session.